Well, hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we will be asking the cards, what about you charms people so much? So, this can be like looks in specific, it can be personality traits, it can be anything that wants to come out about you that is specifically appealing to people on a deep level. So, as you can see, there are the standard three piles to choose from. Pick one of the piles and let's see what wants to come out. Hey, pile one. So, you guys chose the cards the Swan with the Fehurun behind it, the squirrel, and these scary looking guys over here, warrior guys. Let's say they're called the Myrmidon. No idea how you pronounce that. Yeah, so let's get into what charms people so much about you, starting off exactly with these three fierce men over here. Now, I'm not gonna read to you like the whole mythos. It is from the Greek mythology. You can go ahead and look it up if you are interested. But the idea with these little guys over here, their name comes from the word for ant, because they were transformed from ants into warriors, and they are extremely fierce, loyal to the people that they care about, and they have tremendous self-discipline. So the key word for this card actually over here is discipline, and it is the idea that with that discipline, once you might start off so to say in an internal fight between chaos and discipline, but the more you move into that, the stronger you become. And the other main point of this card is that there is strength in numbers, there is strength in having sort of like an in-group that you are loyal to and that you go into direct combat with, and you know you have each other's backs. So the first thing that people really admire about you and that really draws them into wanting to be in your inner circle is exactly that they see you as someone who is not going to turn up on them or like stab them in the back out of nothing, just out of thin air. um and you might be the type of person who is very nicely led, so to say. I don't know if that sounds necessarily positive right off the bat, but it is a good quality to have, because what I mean is not that you are not yourself a leader. That's not what I'm necessarily referring to. You might have leadership qualities, but it is very valuable that you are the type of person who, if you have someone next to you who knows more than you, or has a specific plan of action and maybe you still haven't gotten there, or just somehow has more authority in a meaningful way, you are okay with following their lead. You are okay with listening to what they have to say, and if it seems good to you, then keeping up the plan and doing it. Like, I mean it in that way. You are good to be led. You are not going to make an issue out of it. You're not going to butt heads and try to dominate or anything like that. Like, if it's not your place, if you know that someone else knows more than you, or they are in their field, like they are in their power at the moment, you are okay with following through with that discipline and not making issues along the way, so to say. And yes, that's the other thing. Like, you have a lot of fierce energy. You are not afraid of carrying something through to the end. And again, when someone makes it to that inner group of yours, you are loyal to them. Like, I would say, even with your combination of cards, you are generally a loyal person in life to your ideas, to your ideals, to your dreams, to your like internal compass of guidance. And that's very important because you have this sort of stability in that people would know, like, this person is going to act this way, like this is their just moral judgment on the inside. It is leading them. They are not being led by some type of whim, or I don't know, some type of hurt emotion. Let's say I said something um negative to them, and they are now going to want to pay me back. So to say, there is no such bullshit with you. People know where you stand, and they can count on that. Now, with the rune card with the sweet little squirrel, you know how squirrels are. They are full of energy. They can run around frantically collecting their nuts. It makes me think of the squirrel from Ice Age, but more successful than him, poor little guy. But yes, with the Fehu rune, there is a strong emphasis on your power and energy, like you charge at things with a big power reserve, and you are successful. You might, looking at you from the outside, it is also possible that people think that this is a lot to do with luck, like you are just born lucky, opportunities just come to you, like you always somehow choose the right thing. Of course, what maybe they are not seeing, that behind that is exactly that wall of discipline and loyalty to a cause and carrying things through and not being afraid, like charging ahead towards the challenge, basically. But yeah, on the outside, you might seem like someone who is really invincible just because you can do a lot of things, and the things you can't do, you somehow get lucky in. There might be also a part of this where people see you as a provider of sorts, especially with that warrior energy that we kind of discussed. You are not someone flaky, like people would know that if they are in some type of need, not necessarily financial, I would say emotional, like any type of, you are a good friend to have around, a good companion, like a good, I don't know, brother in arms, that type of thing. And yeah, what else with the Fehu card? I would say that you might also be good at handling other people's money. So a part of this, a part of your business sense for business, let's say, might be not necessarily hoarding your own cash. You might be in a field where you work with other people's money, and maybe this is where your fortune also comes from, because you are again a good ally to have. But at the same time, in being the mediator between all of those people, there is always something left for you as well. So it might be not that you are necessarily rich in and of yourself. Like, let's say, I don't know, you sell something on Etsy and you make $1,000,000, like not that type of rich, but you are in the right circles, you are in on the right deals, and like the mediator always gets a part of it, like that type of thing. You are probably also really good at negotiations on the same note. And yeah, and when you are not, then you just have a little bit of luck to push you further ahead. Now, finally, from these oracle cards, the Swan card over here. I think, yes, the Swan is a water sign, in specific, like astrologically speaking. Now, swans are extremely like delicate, graceful creatures, so there is probably something, despite your fierce nature on the inside, you are most likely someone that when people see you, you look really gracious and put together effortlessly, and like just floating around, gracing everyone with your beautiful presence. There is just something very easy and clean and peaceful and pleasant about your aura and your energy. Something about you not having to try, just being that way. The other thing with the Swan card, the Swan has a lot of creativity within them. So you might find yourself actively seeking out fields of creativity, whether it's writing or I don't know, something else. You just have this natural streak of being able to produce creative works of art that people really admire about you. Now I'll just jump a little bit into the tarot cards that I had pulled up, because in the tarot you received quite a lot of sword cards, and sword cards have to do with like the mind, the communication style, speaking, and so on and so forth. So there is this emphasis that people might really admire you for your speech. You might also purely creatively do something with speech, like you might be a writer, you might have a blog, you might have a podcast. But there is something very significant there about it. Even like if you see over here, the ace of swords card is the swords in this card is actually a pen. So maybe a part of it is that the pen is mightier than the sword. Maybe you are the type of individual who, not saying that you would go chest to chest fighting for people and causes in your life. Maybe you are someone who is outspoken. Maybe you are someone who, if you have trouble with someone, if you disagree with something, maybe you are really active, again, on blog posts, sharing your thoughts about the world, I don't know, politics, animal rescue, like whatever else. But this seems significant in your energy. Now, let's get into the I Don't Care Oracle deck. Now, we have again the message of like, you can do it, you are strong, like you can achieve everything. I think you are a great person for cheering people up when they need it, because you are yourself up for adversity, so to say, like you can take it on the chin, like you can deal with it. I think people really like that you are the type of person that they can call when there is some type of issue, and you would give them good advice, but also just even if you don't give them any advice, your energy acts reassuringly and they feel like they have someone protecting their back once again. Also, you're not someone who would fake things around, like you don't wear masks, you would say things as they are. And this is again appreciated because, like we mentioned at the beginning, people just know where they stand with you. You are not someone who is going to pretend to be someone's friend for like 10 years and then all of a sudden, poof, I stab you in the back, go and die somewhere. Now, with the gluten-free option over here, I would say that you are maybe the type of person who you sort of either love or hate. Like, people might get a visceral reaction towards you when they meet you, kind of like I do with the gluten bullshit, because for a lot of people it is bullshit. I mean, some people really have a gluten problem where they can't digest it, but some people are just paranoid. So you might produce that type of reaction with people where when they meet you, like either they are extremely drawn into you or somehow you repulse them without a good reason. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it good again, but you know, sometimes people with really strong aura and energy, they just act that way. It's reminding me of that Churchill quote, like he said something along the lines of, if I don't have any enemies, no, if I have enemies, that's good. It means that I have done something correctly in my life, like that type of thing. I have achieved something if I have enemies. So yeah, you might not be everyone's piece of cake, but the people who like you a lot. And I mean, it's always good to have a gluten-free option. I mean, it's not hurting anybody. If you don't want it, you just don't have to eat it, basically. Now with the abuse of power over here, again, this I think is a reference to you standing up for people and causes that are important to you. Like, you might be a little bit of a showcasing ground for your ideas, not necessarily that you have 10 gazillion tattoos of all of your beliefs. But again, you might be the type of expressive person who puts their thoughts and beliefs out there, and that draws a lot of people towards you. And lastly, with the oracle cards, we have got a drink cheers card with the rooftop party over here. I feel like a caveat to this is that apart from this, let's say, more serious side that people observe in you, you are also someone who is really fun to be around with in a casual setting. Like, you are able to forget all of those, I don't know, fights, struggles, causes and everything, and just go ahead and enjoy yourself, have a drink, communicate with different people, like have fun, let your hair down. You are not someone who is on their high horse all of the time and like, I don't know, the Queen of England, like going around following perfect etiquette. You can be extremely serious and pragmatic, but you can also just be the life of the party, more or less. Good. Now to mention lastly some messages from the tarot cards. I'll show you the the cards themselves because I think even the images are quite telling. With the Nine of Pentacles over here, you can see just her big, beautiful smile. There is just something about you. You are so... I think people would look at you and think like Pile 1 is so charming that the universe just grants them things and gives them things just for being there and being pretty and smiling and having a good energy. Like, you are definitely taken care of on that arena and you know how to handle it with grace again. Like, there might be a struggle on your back end, not saying that you are not trying, that you're not putting in the work, but when others observe you, there is just this ease in receiving things and achieving things about you. Now we also have, though, the Seven of Wands, so we have the fighter energy going on over here, and it's like you are not going to get one up past me, expressions, whatever. Like, you are no match for me, I will burn you to the ground type of energy. I will protect my peace, I will protect my people, I will do it. Now, again, we have the Ten of Cups in combination afterwards with the Ace of Swords that I showed you. And afterwards we have some other sword cards. Now, I think something that people really admire in you is that if for whatever reason something is not working out in your life, if the balance isn't working, if you are not receiving what you want, if you just feel some type of lack, you are not afraid to speak out about it and try to fix the issue. Now, if you hit a wall, if let's say the other party isn't cooperating or anything like that, if you are somewhere between a rock and a hard place, that can be solved by communication, can be solved by somehow starting anew, you are okay with going ahead and leaving that in the past. Like, you will put in all of the effort on your side to see whether you can fix this issue. But if you indeed cannot, you are not going to linger on it. You will move ahead. You might even, again, write, I don't know, a blog post about it and share about what you have learned in this situation, but you will be moving ahead. I don't think that moving ahead is done lightheartedly, so to say. It might take you a little bit of time, like you will give it all of your effort to see whether by your own trial and error in the situation, whether you can change it. But if you can't, you will clean it, you will cut it off cleanly, and you will move ahead onto something else. With the Fool card over here, people might see you starting off new things a lot, or if it's not necessarily, maybe they can't think of you necessarily starting new things all of the time, but you have this novelty energy where they would say like, oh yeah, Pile 1 is constantly doing something new. They constantly have a new project going on. They are constantly meeting new people. Like, they are fearless. They just throw themselves into whatever. And one final card I want to mention again. We have over here not the knight, the guy before him, of swords. And the card shows Mary Shelley, I think she's called, with the Frankenstein monster. There is something really compulsive about your creativity, which I feel like people really admire about you again, because it just seems like this talent that the God, universe, blah blah, whatever, put in you that you sort of can't escape. Like, even if you are not actively trying to do something creatively, something with your words, it just happens. It just springs out of you. You are, I don't know, maybe you're the type of person who writes the best emails in the office out of nowhere. Like, you are not trying, you started work 2 days ago, but you have an extremely good understanding of what you need to write to clients, and you are just A-level game of writing to those clients. Like, everyone wants to use your email templates. There is just something, I don't know if compulsive is a good word for this, but you can't escape from it. It's just a part of you, it's part of your talent. And yeah, pile one, I would say that these are all of the cards. I think I told you all the messages I had to tell you. So yeah, I hope that this was fun for you. Let me know if it resonated, and I wish you all the luck. Hey, a pile 2. Oh my god, you guys, you are a force to be reckoned with. We'll get in the cards, but I was just pulling the tarot lastly, and you have 6 out of 9 major arcana cards. Like, your reading is something else. Good. So you guys chose the cards, the Morrigan over here, which is from the Irish tradition, as well as the Degas rune, the butterfly, and the spider card. So let's get into your reading one by one with what about you charms, people. Firstly, to show you this beautiful lady over here. I am not going to read to you the whole myth because it is quite long, but there is one sentence that stood out to me and I love, and I'll read that to you. The Morrigan states that she will destroy, confuse, and subdue the enemy and cast great magic. I feel like this is the perfect intro sentence into what your energy is all about. So, the Morrigan, to say it in a short and stupid way, because I don't have the capacity to explain everything in detail like the myth, but if you are interested, definitely go ahead and search it up on the internet. But simply said, she is like a war and sex goddess. Okay, let's keep it at that. In modern terms, this very much reminds me of what people imagine when they say dark feminine energy. Like, it is feminine, but it will kick your ass graciously. You will not see it coming. It will use sex magic and dark forces and I don't know what else, and it will get its way. With the Morrigan, the main word that comes with this card is that of sovereignty. So there is something very important here in your energy about knowing where your boundaries lie, setting specific like guidelines towards people about how they should approach you, how they should act towards you. And if someone disrespects that, you know very precisely what action will follow. Like, you have a very clear if this, then that. Like, if you do this to me, this will be the response you get. Like, you will not get away with it. Not saying that you will destroy them right off the bat or anything like that, but you are a no bullshit person. Like, if someone is messing around with you, if they don't have normal human respect for you, like the type of respect that you have already stated exactly that you need. At the end of the day, when someone gives us a very clear instruction manual, you don't really have the excuse that you didn't understand something and or that you didn't know something. And you are exactly that. Like, you have a really fair, I would say, but really specific instruction manual. And if people refuse to acknowledge it, you will show them the door and you will show them probably worse things than that. The other thing is that the Morrigan is also a protector, so she was used, let's say, in battles as a aid. Like, again, I'm not going to go into details because I can't really say them in a good manner. But yes, imagine it in that way, like divine, dark, feminine energy. Let's say that. With the other two cards that we will get into as well, there is this heavy emphasis on your spirituality. So I feel like it is very well apparent from the first moment someone meets you that you are not just someone who cares about only the material plane. Like, there is something else there. You might be also interested, let's say, in the more sciencey aspect of it, like psychology, like psychiatry, even like the psyche of the human person. But there is also this spiritual side of you where, I don't know, people can probably imagine you doing spell work or connecting with some type of outer deity or doing projections or whatever else. And you are definitely a person where when someone sees you, they know that you work on yourself. Like, they know that you constantly strive for self-improvement and change. And if that something is not working out for you, in yourself, I mean, also in the outer world, but we are speaking specifically about the self, you will put in the necessary work to go through it and out of it. Like, you are the snake shedding its skin, or the butterfly turning from a cocoon to a beautiful butterfly. And this is regarding the second card, the Dagaz, I think. Yes, the Dagaz rune is the butterfly, actually. Now, butterflies are very gentle and beautiful creatures, but you know how they start. They start as a cocoon, and they need to find their way out of that in order to survive and to turn into that beautiful creature as an end result. And you do this constantly with yourself as well. You are not someone who gets stuck in one phase of life and says, like, I have done all the growing that I could have, like, this is my final and perfect version, I am not doing anything else. No, quite the opposite. You always try to evolve and change and shed whatever is not working for you at this point. And with the butterfly, we have this duality between light and dark aspects, similarly like the dark and light feminine, or between, let's say, masculine energy and feminine energy. So overall, you are a very complex person, and this is what makes you also so intriguing. You always have more depth to you. Now, finally, from these oracle cards, the spider card, it is one of the earth cards in this deck. And the spider, there was again a specific line that I really liked in the book. There is this connection between the spider and Dharma. And Dharma, again, I will not try to explain it because I am not an expert, but I really love how Dr. K from Healthy Gamer explains Dharma, but for all intents and purposes, let's see it as karma. So, with the spider, the greatest gift of the spider is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it. Yes, this is exactly the line I really liked. Because I think it gives a great visual of what the spider representing you is able to do. There is again this side to you that you can build things around you, both in your own life structure as well as to the people around you, where when they get in contact with you in their life, they leave being another person. Like, even if you are not together forever, you are not friends forever, you are not lovers forever, you are not colleagues or teammates forever, once you touch them, that leaves a lasting impact. It changes them. Like, they cannot be the same person. They come in contact with, I don't know, something greater, which expands their horizon and understanding of the world. It can be also that when people meet you, they start to pay more attention to the more spiritual side of the world. So something like they might start seeing synchronicities, or in talking to you, they might start to notice that they have been missing patterns in their life up till now, and now you point those patterns out to them and they open your eyes, open their eyes. There is just something about you that brings people to a new level of understanding of themselves and the world. The other thing is, I want to say with the message a little bit of karma again. I think you can absolutely be justice to the people around you, both in the positive and in the negative sense. Meaning that if someone crosses those sad boundaries that we discussed at the start, they will get what is coming to them. Like, they will not be left without a just dessert. Let's say it that way. With the spider, what's really important, because the spider's life work is building those intricate little spider designs. It is very important, in order for you to not get bogged down by this, to remain focused not on a specific result, but to enjoy the process. Like, you are the type of person whose life dharma is to do this effortlessly, more or less. I mean, it's always gonna cost you effort, but the point is that it is the type of effort like getting up and brushing your teeth. Something that you're just so accustomed to, it is part of you. This spiritual work, let's say it, this weaving of webs of growth, is something that you should just become a part of your everyday life, and not something you should necessarily be striving for or against, towards, or away from. And yeah, good. Let's move on to the other set of oracle cards. Now, there is this really strong message over here again of you not letting people cross your boundaries. Like, a no is a no. I will show it to you. And if you don't take my word for it, I might also like throw a pillow at you. I am not saying that you are necessarily some type of aggressive berserk person or anything like that. But again, there is a really strong emphasis that if something is not okay with you, you will not put up with it. At the same time, there is this really strong understanding in you that at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like you, if they are not okay with your boundaries, with your personality, with your goals, with your way of handling things, yes, you might receive the feedback, you might think about it, you might see specific errors that you are doing, and you might work towards overcoming them. But at the end of the day, they might just not be the person for you. Like, you don't care to be perfect in the sense of everyone liking you, being everyone's friend. Your goal is to be yourself and to live your life up to that internal standard and guidance. So if someone doesn't like you, they can just go away. They can just fly away to somewhere else in Timbuktu. But I think when someone gets in on your good side, when they are a good person, when they are a worthwhile person, when you find that connection with them, you are someone who is loyal till the end. There is something here about infinity in connection. So it's not that you are closed off, it's not that you are incapable or anything like that. You are just specific, you have your specific wants and needs, and that's again perfectly fine. And I would say that this is, because it is so strongly emphasized in so many cards, this is a main point of charm that other people see in you, is that you just know yourself and you stand up for that. Like, we oftentimes tend to be really conformist in such cases, to society, to people, to standards, to whatever. You stand up to that, and you manage to stand up to that. Like, you have the strength, the perseverance, and you have the necessary qualities on the inside to be able to stand up to that and to still remain approachable, trustworthy, learning throughout life, not someone who is stuck. So yeah, when you connect to someone, it is for life, as long as there is, of course, not some type of betrayal or anything crazy like that. Good. Now, let's move in finally to the tarot. Like I said at the beginning, from the tarot cards you got 9 in total, and 6 of them are major arcana, which I think again points to your huge personality and huge presence in the room. You are probably one of those people that are just noticed wherever they go, whether you are extremely loud and out there, sort of like Leo energy, or whether you are dark and brooding and, I don't know, yeah, like a typical Scorpio. When you go somewhere, people just notice you. I can see that. And it's very funny because the first 3 cards that came up for you are the Devil, the Strength card, and the High Priestess. So we have again this triple combination, like this perfect combination of both the shocking, the dark, the maybe a little bit scary and worrisome, but also very sexy and alluring, with the strong and in their presence, and you can't push me around, and I can tame any beast, like nothing is a challenge for me. I can tame the lion, I can do it all. As well as the High Priestess, with her more soft feminine energy, more connected to the spiritual realm, more connected to her emotional side. Like, you have this perfect combination of those 3 sides, and this is extremely alluring in you. Now, as to the other major arcana, we have the Tower card over here, which again you probably know the Tower from other tarot readings, but it is this unexpected turn of events where something in our life which is not serving us, which is built on faulty foundations, comes just crashing and tumbling down. You do this both in your own life and in the lives of others. And although it might have this scary edge to it, exactly like the Devil card, let's face it, we are drawn to scary experiences, especially men. They are simple creatures, God love them. They are the sweetest, but they are simple creatures. Give them a little bit of fear, a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of a chase. They love it. So yeah, whether it's in time of crisis or in time of perfectly beautiful weather out there, if something is, again, built on faulty foundations, if something is not working out, you will crash it down. And although specifically other people might live through that a little bit dramatically, at the end of the day, they are appreciative of it, because there is this understanding in them that if it wasn't for you, this negative pattern of behavior would have stayed in their life for longer, maybe forever. So you were a catalyst, exactly, for change. Now we also have the Hierophant and the World card from the Major Arcana. The Hierophant for me again very strongly emphasizes that they see and notice this spiritual side in you. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people come to you for guidance because they can notice that you have some type of authority, whether it's the authority of experiences, the authority of intelligence. There is just something there. And the card in specific with this lady dancing around the fire, I think encompasses your energy beautifully. I can just imagine the freedom of spirit and of body and of not caring about social conventions and just doing what feels right in your heart. And yeah, I don't know in what words to put it. With the World card, I think mainly that what is important that's coming out with this is your caring attitude. Because you can see how she is like sort of hugging the world. I don't know, it's giving me kind of like Mother Teresa vibes or something like that. There is something about your energy where people know that you will bring things to a close, to an end, like you will complete something successfully. But also there is a very caring energy about you. Like just because you might bring all of these changes and havoc and whatever in people's lives and in your own, it doesn't come from a place of wanting to destroy or be evil or be an asshole or anything like that. No, it does come from a place of caring. It comes sort of from a place of motherly energy, kind of like how our parents, provided if they are good parents and not bad parents, but how they just want to gently guide us and push us in the right direction, even if during the process itself we are not having fun. For instance, I hated going to all classes that I have ever gone to, whether it was sports classes or language classes or math classes or whatever. I have always hated it, but it provided useful in the long run. So you have this gentle energy, which I feel like also keeps people around, that although you might have this, let's say, dark feminine quality in you, you also have this softness and this caring attitude. You are not just some thunderstorm which is there to destroy buildings and trees. Good. What else do I want to share with you? Honestly, that those are the most important details. From the other cards, just quite briefly, with the Knights of Cups, I think people notice in you the lover energy. I think it more so maybe shines not all of the time, not all of the time. This is something where it takes a specific type of scheinwerfer. It takes a specific type of light bulb to be noticed. Meaning that you don't necessarily hide this part of yourself, but people need to go to a specific place, like buy a specific seat, like do something specific in order to see it. Let's say it that way. I hope it made sense. With the Knight of Swords, we have the go-getter attitude again. Like, who do you think you are that you're gonna stop me? I'm gonna ride my horse of steel and I will charge ahead into the fight, and you will go to hell if you are not on my side. And with the Ace of Wands, we have the creative spark, the creative energy, this constant need for starting things afresh, this Leidenschaft in life, this, yeah, I can't think of the word. This spark for life that just keeps you going and ever so charging ahead. So yeah, we mentioned the most important things, Pio 2. Let me know if it resonated, and I hope that this was fun for you, and I wish you all the luck. Hey, Pio 3. So you guys chose this combination of cards, the Serpent, firstly over here, which is called Jormungand. I think he is from the same legends as Thor and Loki. We also have the Elhaz rune over here with the deer, let's say deer, as well as the Panther card over here, which is from the fire part in this deck. Good, let's start off with these three cards about what about you charms others so much. There is something in your energy which I would say comes off as stoicism, like passive and stoic. So I'll elaborate on that, but this is just the first vibe that comes to my mind. You are not someone who is necessarily fighting out there tooth and nail, like trying to showcase themselves too much, being, I don't know, extremely pushy in whichever direction, or extremely showy, or extremely aggressive, or anything like that. There is something in your energy where you are just kind of a stable force which is there, kind of like a big mountain that you can't move. Something like that. Let me tell you about the cards so it makes a little bit more sense. Now, starting off with the Serpent over here. As to its keywords, it is about cycles, the changing cycles in life, the path of transformation, like endings, beginnings, that keep everything in balance. So, in the myth about this serpent, the idea is that he is exactly not necessarily an active force. Like, the whole mythos is a little bit convoluted. If you are interested, you can go ahead and Google it. But the idea is that he is just kind of there, and his job is to, because he is big, he surrounds a whole part of the world, so to say, and he keeps it in balance. Like, if you anger him, if you attack him, if you try to destroy him or the world he's protecting, or somehow mess with his plans, he is venomous, he can bite you, he can even like sort of whiff in your direction and you will die. He has like venomous breath. So it's not like he is harmless in any way, but he is not overly aggressive. He is there, his main job is to keep the balance and keep something safe, like the specific world or whatever. So there is something in your energy where you are sort of this protective link in other people's lives, where you are just holding things together. Like, you are not trying to be necessarily the best, like you are not seeking accolades, you are not seeking praise from other people. You are just there to do the job that you feel you want to do. This is not about someone forcing you into anything. This is something you feel as your own part of your own meaning in the friend group, in the family, in the world. You have this presence of someone that keeps balance. And again, the caveat that if something tries to destroy this balance, whether it's a person or an event or whatever type of change in the outer world, you are forced to be reckoned with. But in normal times, you are perfectly fine with just being there. The second rune we have the deer card over here, the male deer. I think there is another word, but I can't think of it. So either way, the deer is again like one of those animals, elk. Let's say elks also fit in the same category. They are very peaceful. Like, they are not necessarily going to go and charge ahead at you the way I don't know, some type of other predator would. They are not a shark, they are not a panther, they are not an angry buffalo. They are just kind of there. But they are huge. If you try and go against them, they can step on you easily. Like with those horns they have, those antlers, apologies for the deer. With those antlers, like, they can wreak a lot of damage and havoc, but they don't do it. Like, they're peaceful animals. They're okay with just existing if nothing is pushing them. And this might be also a little bit of a lesson for you, that you don't always have to be the leading force into things. Sometimes it is also fine to just keep things going. Like, if sort of like if something isn't broken, you don't have to just out of pure stagnation, or pure, not even stagnation has a negative connotation, just out of pure boredom, you don't feel the need to try and change things. Like, you seem to be generally a content person. Now, finally, just to mention, and also the deer card himself is a very protected animal. Like, this is a rune signifying that you have protection. So in this keeping of balance, again, if someone tries to destroy it, you would have the force both within you and from outside of you that would help you mitigate such a threat. Now, finally, with the panther here, we have the little bit of spark next to this stable energy. So, in normal circumstances, you are stable, you are just happy to be there, you don't force yourself necessarily on people or circumstances. But if there is some type of issue, if there is stagnation, not boredom, stagnation, if there is a problem that you need to go out of, you have all of the fierce energy and anger and all of that good stuff to change a given situation. Like that same force which makes the elk, yes, that's the word finally I'm looking for, that makes the elk and the serpent calm, can also make them scary. Like, they are beasts at the end of the day, they can do damage, it's just a question of whether they should. So, with the panther, if you find yourself in a circumstance that's no longer fitting what you need out of life, what you're striving towards, or if someone tries to destroy that piece of yours forcefully, then you can absolutely pounce onto them, into their life, into the circumstance, and like completely fumble it, like turn it all over on itself, on its head, and move things along. You are not a person who likes stagnation, you are more so, you are peaceful. I would say that your charm is that, again, you are peaceful, stoic, but if shit hits the fan, when push comes to shove, you know how to carry yourself in order to not let circumstances push you around. Like, your main goal is having that fulfillment, and if something or someone tries to destroy it, you will not bow down to them. That type of energy. But generally speaking, looking at the other cards as well, a lot of your energy and what people, I would say, for the most experience from you is this stable, not necessarily carefree, but sort of just peaceful attitude, which honestly, I don't know, maybe the way I'm saying it, maybe it sounds boring, not as exciting, but honestly, there is a little better than people in life who are not drama. Like, people who are strong in themselves, like, they are not pushovers, but they are not drama seekers, they are not attention whores, they are just happy-go-lucky people who have their own goals and strives in the world. and they just exist and do their own thing and don't bug anyone and don't try to be too showy or anything like that. So yeah. So this is a big part of your charm. Like you are calm, you are peaceful, you are not someone who can be pushed around. Like if you don't want to do something, you are not going to do it. Or if you think that something shouldn't be done in such a way, it should be another way, you will do it in another way. But again, there will be no struggle, there will be no anger, there will be no tantrum. It will just be a standard day going on about life. In doing that, I feel like you are a person who is very okay with themselves. You don't feel the need to justify the way you act, the things you do. You are again not one of those people who, like, you are not easily attacked. You don't feel attacked by things. It is again a part of that all-encompassing peace that you have. You know who you are, you know that you are strong, you know that you can stand up for yourself if you need to. So you just have this calmness that makes you not have to justify your choices to other people. You are just that. I hope that makes sense. Now, one card that I found interesting, the nature is your ally, a little bit apart from the other main message that we received. There might be something very specific about that people like about you in your way in connecting with nature. Whether you yourself are more of a natural person, like, I don't know, the type of person who, let's say, uses natural deodorant, or you might be very aware of ecology and the ecosystem, and you try to live in such a way to not harm nature. You might spend a lot of time in nature. You might have the style of someone who is more boho chic. Let's say boho, I think is the word. Like there is something very natural and pretty about you and cute, but not in a done up way, not in a I don't know, I woke up 2 hours early before going to work just to have a full beat of makeup or anything like that. There is something really grounded and pleasant about your energy and your looks. There might be also something about you specifically spending a lot of time somehow retreating into nature in order to charge your batteries, or you might be the type of person who knows how to take care of plants, or you might understand on a very deep level herbs. You might be the type of person who knows what herbs to use for what ailment, let's say. For instance, you take this herb when you have a cough, or you take this herb when your back hurts. Like, you might have that type of talent as well, which when people find out about it, they find really charming. And the other card, which I feel is really sweet over here with this turtle, you, despite this grounded and, let's say, earthly energy that you have, you are not a prune. You are not someone who is stuck in their comfort zone. This is not what this is about. Quite the contrary. If there is some type of opportunity, if there is some type of challenge, if there is something that you find fun to do, you will absolutely go ahead and do it. Again, even if other people don't necessarily like it, like, no justification is needed in your case. And yeah, you might even have this a little bit of a wild side where all of a sudden this boho chic, cute little natural person, which is always peaceful and so, I don't know, goes and skinny dips or something like that. Like, there is just something that you do every now and again that kind of throws people off because it was not what their first impression of you was. Now, let's move a little bit into the tarot cards with some other messages as well. Also, I feel like with you guys, maybe you have lately met more people. I don't know, maybe you were in a, let's say, hermit mode and now you're starting to meet people, or for whatever reason I feel like more people are coming through in your reading, or it can be just that with you there are different layers of people getting to know you, and that's why we have different layers of messages. Now, with the tarot, one main thing I am getting is an emphasis on your more, let's say, lover side, romantic side, creative side, that type of thing. We have the messages that came out also in the oracle cards, that you are someone who can transform life circumstances around them. If you find yourself in a non-optimal place, you are not afraid to go through the turbulence to fix it and to start something new. You sort of have all of the tools to produce whatever a life circumstance and whatever end result you wish. And despite that peaceful energy, you can do it quite forcefully. Again, the type of forceful that an elk is, just because they are strong and big and like there, it's not that they will try to force themselves onto something. It's just that they are a force to begin with, just in their nature. You are the same. So when you are put to it, you can produce huge amounts of work and changes through what seems like minimal effort. But again, there is just something in the tarot which more so wants to emphasize your more imaginative and one-on-one side with people, your more creative energy, your more lover energy, even if you will, with the Lover's card. There is something here about that when people get to know you, they really come to appreciate this stability that you provide. But if initially they only saw this stability in a purely earthly manner, in a purely like, I don't know, this person will have my back, or I can call them if I have a problem, or like you're financially stable, that type of stability. When they get to know you, they also see your more warm emotional side, your more, again, creative, imaginative side, which is really pleasing, because that way you sort of have the full package. Like, because sometimes, at least when I imagine someone who very strongly fits into that earthy archetype that I was describing at the start, you might imagine them as someone who is, nice, but kind of stupid. There are people out there who are really cute, who are very nice. They're like cute little puppy dogs, but they are just kind of not all there emotionally, not all there cognitively. But you are not like that. You have emotional depth, and you are okay with showcasing that emotional depth. Like, you are not someone who is emotionally constipated. Let's say it that way. You can provide emotional warmth to the people in your life, and in that way, this is one more building block in your, like, that stoic presence you have, and that strength that you have. And yeah, I also feel like there is something when people get to know you. One side is that if you leave their life, they might carry the memory of your relationship, if not forever, for a really long time. Like, they might have this, what's the word? Not melancholy towards you, but like reminiscing of the past, like that type of energy towards you, where they just remember every now and again the times you had together, like your relationship or whatever, and there's just this warm feeling inside that they carry for a long time. Also, there might be something about you that this childlike side to you that people really appreciate, that just draws them in sorts of to this when things were simpler. Like when they are in your energy, it's like, I don't know, watching your favorite cartoon from when you were little and just going back, regressing to that old pleasant place where you felt safe and protected and emotionally nurtured and all of those good stuff. And yeah, just maybe finally to mention again with the Justice card, because I didn't. With the Justice, this is again sort of the idea of divine justice. Like, you are not there in this world to start things, sort of, to say it like that. I don't know if I mentioned it word by word and at the start with the Serpent, but you, with the Serpent, we have the same energy that you don't always have to be the leading force behind things. Like, you don't always have to be the one doing things, but you are the one who finishes them. You are sort of the, when someone brings something to your door, like, you will finish it. Even if you don't necessarily lift a finger, things around you, like those protective forces around you, will take care of it, and you will bring that, like, divine justice, karma, or whatever you want to call it, to the situation. But yeah, pile 3, let's leave it at that. I hope that it resonated for you and that it was fun, and I wish you all the luck.